Hey, what's up guys? Sean here. So this week we are in the Withlacoochee State Forest and we are headed to the Taylor Primitive Campsite. This is not the trip that we had planned for this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I still think this is going to be a good time though. Let's get it. All right, so we are at camp. Got some of the guys here, and I was told about this area and they gave me a pin, and so I'll put a link in the description for the pin for this campsite. It's about a 10-minute hike in, so it's not really, it's not bad at all. Beautiful area out here. So it's very diverse in trees. There's a lot of pines. There's some big oaks out here, so that's pretty good. There is some set up fire pits already, which is nice. But I want to show you real quick. I had somebody ask me to do a little more in depth on how I set up my hammock. So we're going to do that real quick, and I'm going to show you why I set mine up that way and the reason that you should figure out how your setup is and look for locations that will fit that setup. So let's go ahead and get set up real quick and I'll explain it to you. All right, so I've kind of talked about this before, but I kind of want to go a little more in depth on the why and the why nots here. So I'm going to set up this setup between this tree and that tree. Now the reason that is, plane going overhead. The reason that is because this is roughly 5 paces for me between trees. And I know that that works for my setup. So let's pace it out real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now when I decide to pace my trees off, I find this tree and I'm going to put my foot right to the tree and I'll start walking. I'm going to take actual paces, not steps, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is roughly 5 paces. So we'll go ahead and get the hammock out, start setting it up, and I'll explain to you why making sure you have the right distance matters. Now when I set my hammock up, I like to set my straps pretty much as high as I can reach. Some people go head high, but I go pretty much as high as I can reach, which is probably head high for most people. But I like to go head high with my straps. And the reason that is because when you set your hammock up, you kind of want that 30-degree hang on your straps. So this site is on a little bit of a slant, so I'm not going to go quite as high on this tree as I did on that tree. I prefer to have just a little bit of rise on my head end, which is the opposite of most people. Most people want to have their feet a little higher. I have noticed it's more comfortable for me to have my head slightly higher. So that's how I set it up. You have to do your own assessment. You set it up, figure out what works for you. That's just how I do it. So I'm not going to go quite as high on this end because I know that I'm on a slant. All right, so we're all set up, and as you can see, I don't have quite the hang that I would like to have, and it just dawned on me why. So I went from an 11-foot hammock to a 10-foot hammock in this new hammock. So that means that seems like I need trees that are a little bit closer together. Now the reason you want to make sure that you have the proper spacing between your trees is if it's too far apart, you will have to pull your suspension so tight to keep you up off of the ground that it's going to make your hammock really, really uncomfortable. It's going to transition all that stress through your hammock itself, and it's going to make it tight and uncomfortable to lay in. So if you've ever laid in a hammock that you feel like you're really scrunched up in, like that, making the back of your knees hurt a lot, more than likely it's because your hammock suspension is set up either too low or you've got too much space between your trees. So if you will narrow up your trees, if you'll find trees that are closer together, and then set your straps up higher so you can get that roughly 30 degrees, it will make your hammock so much more comfortable to lay in. So that's just a tip. That's how I set mine up. Now I'm going to find a space that has the proper distance between the trees and reset up. Alright, so luckily for me, I was able to just pivot the hammock one tree, and this other tree is roughly 4 paces for me now. So that's going to work out really good for me, and I'll remember that in the future. And I've got the correct hang, and it's going to be a good, comfortable sleep tonight. Well, it is October, first weekend of October, and it is freaking humid as can be. It's ridiculous. But got camp set up, sitting here eating me a little breakfast, lunch. I've been kind of doing the fasting thing where I don't eat until lunchtime, and along with my carnivore diet. And praise the Lord, I am down 16 pounds. It's taken me a month, but I'm down 16 pounds, and I feel so much better. So for my breakfast, lunch, brunch thing today, I've got some of this 7 Select maple flavored bacon jerky. Not the best stuff for you, because it does have a little bit of sugar in it, but it's the best of the worst stuff that I could find when I stopped at the gas station. So I got this morning, and I've already eaten a little of it, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not the greatest thing in the world. So it is just bacon. I mean, it's bacon, but they call it bacon jerky. But it's real rubbery. That's a good word for it. It's not like jerky like you think of jerky. It's real rubbery. And honestly, this one doesn't have a whole lot of flavor to it. So it will curb the appetite, but it's definitely not what I would like to have. I should have brought some stuff to cook my lunch while I was here, but I just decided that I would just forego cooking anything and just eat this, which is fine, it'll work. But I got something good for dinner tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. So, some of you will remember that we were supposed to be going on a backpacking trip this weekend. I've been kind of working up to that. Unfortunately, Hurricane Helene had different plans, and Lord bless them, all those people up there that have been flooded out in the Carolinas and Tennessee, and it's just an awful thing. And that's the area that we were supposed to go backpacking in. We were going to go up the Deep Creek area near Bryson City, and we just decided that it just wasn't smart for us to try to do it. We could have still gotten to it, but they just didn't need us up there using resources that they need, And then on top of that, just to take a chance of something happening, one of us getting hurt or something, and then taking away from emergency personnel that they need for something else, or the cell service and everything is down up there, so if something happened and then we couldn't get help because of the cell service, so it just made more sense for us to postpone the trip. We will be going. We haven't set a date yet, obviously, but we will be going eventually. But it just didn't work out, and it's a terrible thing. So I looked around because I wanted to figure out a way to use my channel to get people to donate. And I looked through, and it's so hard to figure out who's doing the best work to help folks throughout the Big Bend in Florida area to the Carolinas and Tennessee and stuff as far as a charity. And it's so hard to figure out, you know, who should I tell you to go donate to. I'm not going to do that. So you figure it out for yourself who you think you should donate to that's going to be the most help for the folks in the Big Bend area and the Carolinas and Tennessee. And please, if you can donate anything, donate and help those folks out, because they really, really need it. And it's just a tough time, and this is one of those times that we all should stick together and help those folks out. So find the charity that you think is going to work best, donate to them. I think I'm going to be sociable and move my chair over by where everybody else is hanging out. I don't always get everybody in video because I don't want to bother other people with what I'm doing here. And so that it just, if you notice, a lot of times I will be camping with people that not necessarily have them in the video, and that's why, because I don't want what I'm doing to affect their trip, and that's a tough thing. So that's why you see that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and be sociable and move my stuff over there. This is a beautiful area out here. So I just thought that I'd kind of do a little walk around and see what was in this area. And I noticed those little, there's very small little washes. And so those washes are running downhill. And if you look around, you can see where the water has washed some of the pine needles and stuff down. And that's an indication that there's water up ahead. So who knows how far these go. I don't know if I'll find the water, but that's a way, if you are in need of water, to try to find some water. So you find one of those washes, it's going downhill. Sometimes you can follow that and find yourself some water. So I'm going to walk down here a little ways and just see what we can find. That, my friends, is a widow maker for sure. So this is obviously just runoff water, but it is water. So we have found some water that we could use if we needed to. And I'm pretty sure that if we keep following this down, there'll be more water down there, and possibly enough water to sustain you for a little while.
Everybody always asks me about my millbank bag and the Grayl. Those are my two go-to things for water, plus the stainless steel water cup. But you just take your millbank bag, this one I got from like England, and you want to soak it first to get it wet. So there's like a little clear mud hole here. So you kind of just soak it, and you get your bag nice and wet first right there, and that causes the fibers to tighten up a little bit. And then you just fill it in with your water supply. And what it's going to do is catch sediment and debris in your bag here, and that way you're not clogging up your filter like that. So if you get a good fill here, and then it's going to come in, and then I'm just going to take that water, filtered it into my Grayl like this. So you would just hang that up. You could hang that up and let it run for a few minutes. So all the sediment is going down into this little triangle spot here, right there. And so that will catch in there. Then you just rinse your bag out later when you get home. Just turn it inside outward. But this way, the water is coming, it's still dirty. You can't drink it yet, but it is coming in like way cleaner than the mud hole right here. So once you do there, you get your water bottle filled up, and then you would just take your Grayl, vent your lid, and put it on there, and just do it normal. Then you would have like clean drinking water. And so tastes like water. That's all you have to do.
So that was pretty cool. That wasn't planned. I was just trying to find some water, and Boreal was coming down here to find some too, and to filter him some. So that worked out really cool. That was a good little explanation of how a millbank bag works. And now I think I'm gonna wander around here and see what else I can find. There we go. Wonder what that is. Jawbone or something. Looks like some mice have been chewing on it. What do you think?
Wouldn't be too bad. We had more water. See, that's what I'm not used to.
November. I'll come doing Georgia Bushcraft that first weekend.
Alright, so we got the fire going. We got everything ready for dinner. Tonight for dinner, we have some country style ribs and a bunch of them. So I hope those guys are still hungry, because somebody's going to have to help me eat this. But I've got these things seasoned down with some, this is bourbon barbecue. I think it's McCormick's or something like that. But this should be pretty good. So I built a good fire over here, and I got a good bed of coals going. And I have my grill grate set up. So now it's time to put some meat on there, get some dinner going. Alright, so got our country style ribs on there, and they should be really good here in a little while. I have something a little different that I have done for my cocktail tonight. Instead of carrying the vodka and stuff with me out here, Sarah got me some of these sparkling ices. This one happens to be Starburst strawberry flavor. And what I did was, I took a couple sips out of them, and I went ahead and pre-vodka-ized them. So these are already ready to drink. I don't even have to mix them. They are pre-mixed. So I'm ready to. Cheers. Oh yeah, really good. All right, so we got some dinner done. We got one of these bad boys cooked already, and we're running out of daylight, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat. And man, this thing looks good though. Oh yeah, good and cooked. Oh man, I love country style ribs. Man. So good. I'm gonna tell you, that's some good eating there. Well, it is getting dark on us, and I think we're all gonna kind of chill around the fire and hang out for a while. And so I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with it for tonight. I'll see you in the morning. Alright, good morning. So, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I slept really good last night. I could still be sleeping right now, but we got some storm rains and stuff coming, so I think we better get up and get packed up and get ready to get out of here, because we got some stuff coming that's not going to be fun to pack up in, so I think we better go. So, this is a prime example of why when you set your tarp up, make sure you don't wrap your ridge line around your tree straps for your hammock, because I was able to drop my hammock and pack it up and leave the tarp till last, and then I can go ahead and just throw that tarp in the pack and head out. Now, it's not raining hard right now, but it is raining, but I can stay protected under this tarp. So if you wrap your ridge line for your tarp over your tree straps, obviously it won't work that way. So just a little tip, something to remember when you're setting up, because having some shelter to pack up in while it's raining is nice. Alright guys, you can see everything's all picked up and we are ready to hit the trail. It is just now starting to get a little heavier on the rain, so throw this pack on and get back to the vehicle before it becomes a monsoon. There's deer up ahead. Yeah, I've just seen some eyes over there. We have arrived. Whew. Well, we made it out before the monsoon started, so that's a good thing. Haven't even had any coffee yet this morning. We had to remedy that in a minute. Well, that has got to be some sort of record for me. To wake up at 6, get packed up, and all the way back out to the trailhead by 7:15, that is definitely a record for me.
Hi, what can we get for you today?
Yeah, can I just get a medium black coffee, please?
I'm sorry, you said a medium hot black?
Yes.
Okay.
Coffee. That's good. Got me some morning coffee from Dunkin'. And, so, had to pack up and get out of there pretty early this morning. That was kind of abnormal. But, you do what you do when the storm's coming, so. I had a really good time on this trip, though. It was a new location. I've never been there before. And, I really, really enjoyed myself. So, that's one that I will have to come back to. This is one that I kind of consider like a two-nighter, because there's a lot of other things in the area that I would like to check out. There's some caves there that we didn't get to go to. There's a cool old cemetery along the trail that we didn't get to go to. So that's some things that I definitely want to come back and check that place out, because there's a lot more in the area there to do. So really, really cool site. I really enjoyed myself. Listen guys, I know the video wasn't super exciting, and it wasn't exactly what we had planned for this weekend's trip, but I really enjoyed myself, and I hope you enjoyed the video too. If you did enjoy the video, give it that big thumbs up for me. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down there. Ring that notification bell so you get notified next time we put out a video. You can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next week.